money to not be taken. So here's a little bit of info about what they're fighting. So strippers are not paid by the club, they're paid by the customers, and a percentage is taken from the club. The largest clubs take the largest cut and are most likely to give fines. The contracts strippers are made to sign protect only the club and don't have any legal standing. They don't have any protections for the girls whatsoever. All they have is fines if they do something that is deemed to be unworthy of their staff. So as a result of this, abuse from staff and customers can be swept under the rug for threat of fines and now of firing as well. Like other independent contract work such as film, Uber driving and more, this is one of the many lines of work where workers can be exploited due to the grey area in law that they fall into with their jobs. So if Fired Up Stilettos is working to change this via their events and their protests. Why is this relevant to two pole dancers here today? Because pole dancing comes from stripping, comes from strip clubs. Regardless of other influences, pole studios came about because strippers decided to open them. Pole dance is becoming an accepted hobby and art form type of exercise, and the stigma is lessening, and yet strippers are still carrying theirs. We need to be part of changing this, regardless of any thoughts that people might have about this work. That's the whole point, is that we have equal respect, no matter what someone does for a job. So how can we be an ally? We can support the Fired Up Stilettos. We can follow 19 Fired Up Stilettos on Instagram and Facebook and promote their events, or even better, attend them. If you go to the club, tip the girls. If you can't afford it, say hi and then go, just go. So that someone with money can take up the space. You can't just go to the club and sit there and not give anyone money, because that's the only way that strippers are going to earn their money. So the other thing you can do is find out their stripper name at the club and refer to them as that, because at the club they are a fantasy and they don't need the customers knowing their names, their real names, for safety purposes. Instead of expecting big tricks and cheering loudly, quietly appreciate their sensual flow. The stage spot is the chance to draw the customer in, and someone screaming next to them is a boner killer. Okay? Trying to get turned on here, said some guy. So leave the poles for the strippers as well. This is their chance to showcase themselves and hopefully make some money. So stay off the stage. I've seen some people taking off their shoes ready to jump on the stage before, and it's not an appropriate time. Go to your pole at your pole studio, or go to a street pole, or go to your home pole. Same with your own sexy dancing at the club. To avoid confusing customers, try not to dance up on other people while you're at the club too, because that is a little bit misleading and takes the onus away from the dancers. Also, don't out your friends. If you know that your friend is a stripper, you don't go telling it people unless you know that they are okay with it. But even so, it's probably not a good idea just in case. Keep the info to yourself. It's not your place. And when people talk down about the job or the people who do it, set them straight. These are human beings. Some of them are your friends. You might not know it, that they might do the work, but they might. And they might be just, standing right next to you at a pole class. So remind people that every human deserves respect as well as human rights. The next time you hear someone talking down about strippers or sex work in general, just remember that these are still people. So that's about it, about Fired Up Stilettos and their cause, and why it's really important in general to be an ally to strippers, so that we can all be a family and not be separated. Can I get a hell yeah? Shows to save money. They've been helping girls who have been getting fined unfairly and getting them out of that. They've been helping them find support for court. They're about to start a union, baby. So they've been in Parliament. I was lucky to be in Parliament with them while they were making their big brave speeches in Parliament to real MPs who actually wanted to make this change. So it's super, super important that you do pay attention. And I know it's a fitness, but pole dance is dancing. It's a type of dance. And that is my speech about the fired up stilettos. Shit. I'm done.